Trinesha Catrell, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about being greedy. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. So, what made me want to talk about being greedy is because I started thinking about this lesson that God's been trying to teach me this week. And He's been teaching me a lot about being grateful, having gratitude, being thankful, not complaining. And all of those things go hand in hand. And sometimes in life, we pray for something and we get it and we don't know how to handle it. I know. Like, you pray for that new job and you got the job. Now all of a sudden you already complaining. Can you believe they want me to work 8 to 4, 5 to 9, whatever your timing is that you have to work or whatever. 9 to 5 is what I meant, not 5 to 9. And you prayed for this job, for this position, for the money, for whatever it is that you have in this company, for employees that you get along with, whatever else it is. But you are so busy looking at the negative that you don't even get a chance to relish in your blessing. You don't even get a chance to acknowledge the fact that you've gotten everything that you prayed for. You don't even get a chance to be able to appreciate, to enjoy the moment that you get to spend at that job that you prayed for. I was thinking the other day about something that was going on in my life, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And before I could even fix my mouth to start complaining, God started convicting me real hard. And then not only that, but I go to church and then the sermon's talking about complaining. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like you really gotta thank you, God, for checking me, first off. And secondly, I gotta get it together because I can't be out in these streets acting like this. And so when God was really putting on my heart, listen, you don't need to complain, I was like, you're absolutely right. Because what am I complaining for? I literally am living the life that I prayed to God for this life. I prayed to be in a position where I could do the things that I love to do. I prayed to be in a position where I would love the place that I work. I prayed to be in a position where I would have people who appreciate and care about me in my life. I prayed to be able to drive or see or go this place or drive this car or whatever else. And I got all of the things that I prayed for. And yet we still find time to complain about something that's a blessing. I want to tell you right now that appreciate your life because you only have this one. And I'm not saying YOLO because, listen, you got to be responsible. You got to budget because if you're here longer than you think you're going to be, you're going to need money to survive. Not only that, but also you got to make sure that you're appreciating your life. It's not just like I'm going to go do something really crazy or off the wall because YOLO. Like, no, listen, appreciate your life and be conscientious about the decisions that you're making in life so that way you can live your best life. So you can have all of the things that your heart desires and treat it as such, not with complaining, not with greed or whatever else. So I had 3 things that I wrote down that I feel will help us with being greedy. And also, I had to say this point. Earlier today, I was listening to the sermon. I listened to a couple. And it's so funny because most of the sermons were about men. And I'm like, I'm not a man, but I'm willing to listen because I just like to hear all perspectives and then take it in and then gain more emotional intelligence in that area. Like learning, okay, this is how men feel in this area. I'm not a man, so I don't know how it feels to be a man. But when I hear someone else talk about most men feel like this, I'm like, okay, that I understand that, and I can just sit back and listen because I don't know how it feels to be them, so I just like listen just to be learning, not to put an input, not to make it into a thing, none of those things, just to really just intentively listen. And so so as I'm listening to one of the podcasts, one's a fewer a sermon, one of them is like a show that talks about like religion and different things like that. And as I'm on there, this pastor says this quote: Pastor Darius Daniels says this quote that he got, I think, from another pastor. And he said, he was just talking about the way you treat women and, his marriage and different things like that and how they were when they first started and everything else. And he said the pastor had told him, treat your woman in a way that she is greedy, not because she's needy. And I know that has nothing to do with what's going to go on in this video, but I feel like in life, that's how we really have to treat life. We really have to treat life like we just are accepting the things that we actually need and not just being greedy for all of the things that we want. Like if we're getting the things that we prayed for, if we're getting all the things that we need, why we got to be greedy about it? In general, not just as in a relationship, but at work, in relationships, in friendships, in whatever else it is. Why be greedy if you have the things that you need? I'm just asking. So here are 3 things that if I think that if you look back or if you really like take a moment to analyze your life, this is 3 things that I feel will help you put things into perspective. If you are complaining, you're probably being greedy. I know greedy is like such a harsh word, but I feel like it'll help people like really do self-reflection, and for me it helps me do self-reflection. So I'm hoping it'll help someone else. If you're constantly complaining about your life, about the things in your life, about the car you're driving, about the clothes you're wearing, about your smile, about your hair, your skin, your body, your mind, your soul, your all of these things. Every day you wake up, the first thing you say is, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. If you wake up and you're like, oh, I got to go to work. If you wake up and you're like, oh, I wish that I didn't have hardwood floors because it's so cold, or you got carpet. Oh, I wish I had hardwood floors. If you're waking up and the first thing that you say when you wake up is something negative, you are already complaining about your life. Instead of saying, thank God I got to sleep in a bed tonight or wherever you're sleeping. Thank God he woke me up another morning so that I could breathe in fresh air. Thank God I was able to sleep on this pillow. Thank God I got hardwood or carpet floors or whatever floors you walked on when you got out the bed. Thank God he's given me another day. Another day is his grace and his mercy because he didn't have to do it. Instead of saying, this is the day that the Lord has made, I will rejoice and be glad in it. If you wake up complaining, know you're being greedy because you don't have to be here. Sorry. I said it like that and it sounds so harsh, but seriously, sometimes we really get so beside ourselves and unappreciative of the life that we've been blessed with. We start to feel like we need to take for granted everything that we've been blessed with, everything that God has given us. Like complaining is going to make him give us more. If anything, it's going to make him just say, okay, that's all you got. That's all you getting. I know like the moments in my life when I'm the most blessed is when I'm the most grateful. When I'm like, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for the clothes. Thank you for the shoes. Thank you for, and these might be material objects, but thank you for my health. Thank you for everything. The ability to be able to smile, my mouth isn't wired shut. The ability for all of my lungs and my organs to be functioning properly. Thank you for the ability to have all 10 fingers or, 10 toes in both legs, functionality in my limbs, like everything. When I wake up and I'm actually glad that I could see, that I could smell, taste, hear, all those things that God is blessing me with, then God is like, okay, you grateful for that and you thanking me for that? Let me give you this as well. Oh, you want to start this business? Let me go ahead and touch the shoulder of somebody and allow them to help you start this business that you mentioned once in a passing conversation. You want a relationship with a guy who's going to be attentive? Okay, I got you. Let me touch the shoulder of this guy. You're not even going to expect it. You're just going to walk somewhere and this guy is just going to be there and he's going to treat you the way that you prayed to be treated. God will line everything up in your life for you the moment you stop complaining. The moment that you start to appreciate your life, your finances will be more blessed. The moment that you're a great financial steward, God will just start blessing your finances. You'll be like, I only make this amount. God will be like, blessing. That's how it happens in my mind. Like, I'll just be doing something. I'm like, okay, this is how much I made. Okay, let me go ahead and budget all these things out. And the next thing you know, it's a bonus. Or I just like went to some show or something and sold a ton of books. Like out of nowhere, God just started blessing me randomly. And I'm just like, God, what, me? Like, you really trying to bless me right now? And sometimes it's just like, I feel like God, let me check with God to make sure he got the right person. And then it really is for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's not because I deserve it more than someone else. We all deserve blessings when we're grateful. It's because I'm grateful that God is blessing me. And even me just being able to have the ability to wake up is a blessing. I'm talking about those extended blessings that God be giving. Sometimes God just be surprising me. I'm like, this, hmm. And it's nice. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying it's real nice. I'm grateful for the blessing of waking up, and I'm grateful for $1,000,000. So whatever it is that God decides to give me, I'm grateful for all of it. And that's how you get more blessings. The second thing, if you look back and realize that you did not have a real conversation at work with a friend in a relationship, then you're probably being greedy. I know you're probably saying you can't talk to everybody. That may be true. Maybe you don't bring up a topic about something, especially if it's fresh, if it's raw, if someone is in the wrong mindset about something that is bothering you. But if you have a friend that hurts your feelings, you got to nip it in the bud right away. Because if they truly care about you, they're going to want to know how you feel about certain things. If you're at work and you feel like you're not being seen, maybe take your ideas to a person who will listen to you, and then allow them to maybe be able to just keep listening, keep boosting your self-esteem and your confidence, so that when you are in meetings, you'll feel confident stepping up and saying something to the manager, whoever it is, about your great ideas that you have. Or if the idea isn't that great, maybe you reconsider and think of a better idea, so that when you present it, it'll be fresh, it'll be with a new set of eyes, it'll be a better idea. And so you just really have to take the time and say, okay, did I have a real conversation? Or am I just being greedy and saying, okay, well, they need to do this way because I want it this way? Am I really just saying, oh, I don't need to have a conversation with them, I'm too good for them, they don't deserve to have a conversation with me? Are you really being humble? Are you having humility when you're speaking to people, when you're talking about the desires of your heart, or the things that are on your heart, the things that are troubling you? Are you really going to your friend? Are you really going to that person that you're in a relationship with? Are you going to that colleague and really having a real conversation respectfully? I'm not saying you gotta be like, you're wrong, and then you say you had a conversation. I mean, like, in the most mature, respectful way possible, honest way possible. Are you really having a conversation about how you feel? And if you are not doing that, and you're just saying, well, they gave me this raise, but I want $100 more. Listen, be grateful of the amount of money that you've been given, because you might not have gotten anything. Not only that, but even with hours, even with whatever it is, just be grateful for where you are right now, and God will just open another door for another position. And I do have to say this disclaimer. Just because you got a promotion, or because someone's giving you an offer for a job, does not mean that's God. Sometimes Satan could give you that job because you're going to work on Sundays and miss church. Sometimes Satan will send you a job because he wants to distract you, because he knows that if you stay at the job you're at, your husband's going to be there. So you just have to be mindful and use discernment. Make sure you go to God and pray and see if that's what he actually wants for your life. Is this really truly a person who matters and that you care about in your life, that you really want to have a real conversation with? Or does it matter? Like, does it really matter that much? Are you being greedy, or is it something that you actually need? The third thing, if you look back and you realize you made a rash decision without observation, you're probably being greedy. And I know you're probably like, how am I being greedy if I made a irrational decision? Because you're not being considerate of someone else's feelings. Because you're not thinking, okay, is this something that I truly want or need in my life? Or am I just saying I want all of this extra stuff that is unrealistic? You really have to think of what your vision is going to be for your life and what you want in your life in order to determine if this is something that you should actually be fighting for. You can't just fight everybody all the time about everything. You got to pick and choose your battles. Sometimes we be so ready, and we always say we got time today. Sometimes we don't need to make that time. We just need to make sure we're focused on our vision, so that we can be grateful and really have real conversations and really make decisions that matter in our life, instead of just making a erratic decision just because we want to make a move. I know for me, like, when I'm in my waiting season, when God has me just not doing anything, sometimes I'll feel like, okay, I got to do something here. I got to make this money move. I got to hustle and bustle here. I got to go to this place. I got to do this vendor show. And God never told me to do that. He told me to wait, to rest in this moment until the next opportunity comes. He told me to work on this thing, this same assignment that he gave me to do over and over again, just like repetitive, so that it could be engraved in me, so I could take it to the next level or the next season that he brings me in. And sometimes we feel like it's mundane, like it's not something that matters. And the whole time God is saying, I was prepping you for the next season. God is saying, I was using all of those things to make you who I created you to be. You can't be that without that thing that you're doing repeatedly. You think you're going to be a good boss and a good owner of your own business if you're not a good employee? You're going to repetitively be an employee until you become the best employee that you could be. You're going to be a beacon of light at that company, so that when you open your business, so when your business grows, so when you expand, when you become bigger, your employees could be the type of employee that you were, because you can't expect somebody to be something that you weren't. When you are going through life and you're choosing the type of person you want, make sure you don't just pick a whole bunch of preferences or unrealistic standards for somebody and that's not who they are. Make sure that you know what it is that you want so that you can make the right decision for yourself. Don't just jump and be like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. No, take your time. Life, as long as you're still breathing, you still got an opportunity to make a decision for your life, the best decision. You don't have to, anytime you feel rushed, know that's the adversary trying to make you trip. Because God would never intend for you to do something quickly. He always takes his time prepping you so that you make the best decision based on the kingdom. This is going to be something that's necessary to teach you a lesson in life. This is something that's necessary to grow you. This is what's prepping you for your husband or whatever else. You have to allow God to do that in you. And in order for him to do that, you have to be patient. Patience is not my strong suit. I'm just going to say that right now and be honest. But I'm really working on it. And I'm trying to be more and more patient every day. I want to be a better person. I want to have the things that I need in my life and not just be greedy. I don't want to greed to consume me because I have everything that I need. So take a moment in your life and really think, are you complaining? Are you having real conversations about the things that matter to you? And are you making erratic decisions? And if you are, you're being greedy. Make sure that you appreciate the life that you have, that you're being thankful, that you are being grateful, that you are appreciating every blessing and being a good steward of the things that God has already given you so that he can give you more. Because won't he do it? Yes, he absolutely will. You have to have faith and believe, because just like the women with the issue of blood and the woman who bled for 12 years, he said, your faith has healed you. Sometimes just having that faith is the thing that will allow God to perform miracles in your life. And not every season feels like it's hopeful, but always believe and always have faith. Always know that there's hope for more. And not in I need to have more because I don't appreciate my life. While you're waiting, while God is working on you, while things are happening in your life, just be patient and wait on God. And do what it is that God intends for you to do so that he can work things out in the background. And if you're grateful and you're patient and you're faithful, God will work things out for your good and he'll move you to the next level. So just appreciate your life because you only have this one. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.